Yeah, hi guys. This is Captain Tom here, and on episode 14, which you are about to see, it's going to be run backwards. A lot of the syncing is going to be from the past to the future, or the future to the past, and you'll have to kind of figure it out and everything like that. I'm having trouble with my editing software, so we wanted to get something up before I went back to Florida next week. One thing I want to let everybody know about is that this was an extremely difficult trip and it was really hard on me, both physically and psychologically. I'm okay now, but don't kid yourself for 1 minute thinking that this was easy, because it wasn't. It's the hardest trip I've ever done. Thank God for my support crew, a lot of good deckhands, Corey, Julian, and Linda, of course, being a home base, always with the satellite telephone. Grateful to be alive, lucky to be alive, man. It's a really dangerous trip. And unfortunately, wow, for the last major long delivery from Texas to Florida, the hardest trip I ever had. I don't know, man. It's just unbelievable. Anyway, so bear with episode 14. We're glad you're here. Remember to subscribe. And for the 35 or 40 people that actually are subscribed, I hope you enjoy it, man. Wow. Sailing. It's a trip, man. It's real and it's fun, but sometimes it isn't real fun. Anyway, grateful to everybody I just mentioned. Grateful to God to be alive. I'll see you next time, episode 15. Thanks. Bye. Yeah, Linda and I figured it out at 45 days that I've been gone. Here, it's unreal, man. You know, I tell you what, you know, it makes you appreciate home. I'm grateful to be going home, man. You know, I was even listening to country music last night, man. It's making me homesick for Texas, I swear to God. Anyway, so this is Captain Tom Sailing's Adventures, man. We'll be back. Remember, subscribe. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Yeah, well, this is the last day of the trip. Man, it's Christmas Eve in Fort Myers, Florida. I'm here at Gulf Harbor's Ritzy Marina with a lot of very wealthy, I think pretty snobby people, man. The people that work here, though, are really cool. I'll shout out to Tina, that's the manager, a wonderful chick. I wish her the best. She was kind to me and took good care of me. And a lot of the other staff too. Everybody here worked really, really hard to take care of me. And of course it was an emergency situation coming in here with the engine like it was. So anyway, grateful to be going home finally at last. God, it's been 6 weeks, man. I think Linda and I figured it out, 45 days. Well, man. As it turns out, down here in good old Fort Myers, Florida, some marinas have got certain standards where if you don't meet their standards, they don't allow you into the marina. And I was notified today that my boat doesn't meet the standards that they require at this marina. And they were thinking about throwing me out of here. Can you believe that? I paid $1,000 to come into this place. Good credit card, stellar credit rating. I'm a college educated, you know, card-carrying retired businessman with a 7-figure net worth, and they're trying to tell me that I'm a bum? Man, I tell you what, that's just unbelievable. I tell you what, I'm not going to name any names, but it's on the Caloosahatchee River. Like I said, we never give up, man. Holy crap. Anyway, wow. When I start shooting vignettes in the Bahamas next year, I'll go, man, what, did I have a hard time coming here? I'm sure my memory is short. Thank God. Anyway, we'll talk to you again in a minute, man. We're going to make it at last. My God. All for now. Bye. Okay, we're finally on the home stretch to Fort Myers. We just went by Cabbage Key. I've had a tremendous sail this morning. But I'm really exhausted and the stress level's been pretty high. A lot of trouble with Towboats US trying to get them to figure out where I'm at. They finally figured it out. They're a good outfit. They helped me yesterday. They're going to help me again today. Anyway, God, this will be the end of this third leg of the trip. I bought a month at a marina in Fort Myers, and I'll have to come back in a couple of 3 weeks to fix the engine and then make the last run up to the Glades. So, man, my God, this has just been the toughest trip I've ever done in my life, man. So I'm glad it's almost over. You guys out there in Capt Thomas Sailing Adventureland, I'll tell you what, we sail so you don't have to, man. And sometimes it's very difficult. But we're going to make it. I never give up. I never quit. We'll be back in a minute. So to continue, sailed down here to Cape Hayes. I've stayed here 11 years ago. This is a good place to anchor. The water's 20 feet deep. Sailed in, anchored under sail, no engine. And then called Ormsby in Utah. We talked it over and everything like that. And I don't know what's with this damn fuel pump, but I actually got the thing to start, but it was starting to over rev again. My God, I was cramming rags into the air intake and it didn't kill it. It was revving over 1,000 RPM. My God, it scared the crap out of me. I thought the thing was going to frickin' blow up if it got out of control again. Finally remembered that if I took they have a couple of compression valves on the top of this engine for people to mess with. I opened them up and that killed it. So I know how to start it and I know how to kill it. And there's a lot of diesel fuel in the bilge. I don't know what that's from. I don't know if there's some internal damage to the damn fuel pump. I've got one more bridge to go. I've got the swing bridge here at Boca Grande. Once I'm through it, the next stop is actually Fort Myers, and I can get Towboats US to take me into a marina there if I have to. I've got to call trade. Well, here I am in Roberts Bay by Venice, Florida. I'm a ground bigger than Dallas, man. I came in here last night, had engine problems, anchored, and then the tide went out. So I'm anchored here in this nice, really nice residential section of Venice, Florida. Really nice waterfront houses here. So here we are, man. The adventure, the adventure never stops here at Handsome's, on board the sailing vessel Handsome Sailor. Got Towboats US on the way, man. Oh God, what next? Be back in a minute. And this is my friend and mentor, Ed Havelka. And Ed just got a haircut, and there's Diane.
No videoing.
No videoing. They say no videoing. Well, man. Anyway, these are the people that helped get me here to Florida. We're inside their beautiful home right here. And I am very grateful to be here. Be back in a minute. Okay, here I am in Bradenton, Florida at Ed and Diane Havelka's place. Their vessel Badario right off here. And then if we look down the street, you can see Handsome Sailor down there at a dock temporarily. We finally made it to the peninsula. Man, it took forever to get here, but this is really great, man. This is Florida at its very best. It's warm, and we're only 150 miles from the Glades right now. We're gonna make it, man. Wow. I'll be back in a minute. For the first time in the 8 months that I left, I finally am having a good time here. God, it's about time. We're right off of Clearwater, man, about a mile off the beach. The sun's out. God, deliverance at last. Be back in a minute. Okay, here we are coming south at the Anclote Keys, right off the Tarpon River. We're finally on the west coast of Florida. It's a foggy day. Nothing but mist out here, man. But this is where we are. Spent the night here last night, and the wind's really super light out of the east at about 5 knots. We're finally on the west coast of Florida, 900 miles from godforsaken Corpus Christi. Oh my God. At last. Deliverance. We'll be back in a minute. Yeah, like I said, it was, this has been an ordeal. The trip to come to Florida with this boat started on April the 15th. Yesterday was December the 15th, so it's been 8 months. This is the longest boat trip, the longest journey I've ever taken ever in my life. This is the hardest sailing trip I've ever taken, ever in my life. This is the closest I've ever come to being killed on a sailboat, ever in my life. God almighty. I'm tired, man. I want to go home. So I'm going home. And flying out on December the 25th. You know, I'm sure after I recollect my wits and everything about me and I rest and I get over to the Bahamas, you know, I'll be in a much better shape. But for you people out there in Capt Tom's, you know, sailing Adventureland, let me tell you something, folks. A lot of this is really, really hard. You know, I'm 71. It's not easy like it used to be when I was a kid. And like I said, man, I sail so you don't have to. But I tell you what, man, if it was always like this, I would have given it up a long time ago, man. This has been really difficult. This boat here, though, this Cherubini 137, is the best monohull sailboat, buck for buck, I've ever sailed ever in my life. I really like it. The autopilot works flawlessly. The GPS works flawlessly. Now the engine is running flawlessly. Wow. It's finally a really top-notch yacht. Man, if I could just keep up with it, and I guess I am because I'm still alive. Anyway, we went 146 nautical miles in 30 hours. That's pretty good. Solo. Okay, I'm coming in to the Anclote Keys here. I just spent 30 hours at sea, solo. The longest solo trip I've ever done. Single-handed. I'm hoarse. I'm tired. We sailed over 100 miles of it, though. So it was a good run. The Anclote Keys at last. I finally made it 900 miles from Corpus Christi. Thank blessed Christ Jesus. I'll be back in a minute. Wow, man, check this out. Woo! Right by us here, man. Oh my God. Check this out. Wow. Okay, guys. I've got the lifelines up on the boat. I've got the anchor chain stored. The jib is set on the proper side. I've got my course work figured out. Going to be steering 110 degrees, or putting it really basically full and by. On the wind, the wind's blowing from about 60 degrees, east-northeast. And it's 137 degrees is the actual heading to Anclote Key. I can probably do 110 or 115, which is going to be close. And hopefully I won't get headed any worse than that. You know, if worse comes to worse, I could go all the way to Tampa, you know, if I had to. That'd be another 30 miles, but we'll just have to see what happens. The problem with Tampa is that there's a lot of traffic, and I don't want to deal with that, especially after I've had no sleep. So anyway, we're just about ready to go. Sailing at 0300 Sunday morning. All right, guys. Be back in a minute. Okay, right here, guys. This is the new emergency tiller for the boat. And this costs $200 to get done. But the old one was made out of steel plate, or steel like thin metal. And this thing right here is made out of, I mean, some seriously solid shit. So this thing is much, much better. And at that price, it damn well better be. And everything. But you know, when you're talking about machine shops, we're talking about money. But that thing right there can save my life. It did the last time, it can do it again. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, well, I just got over to dockside and talked to Captain Eric. They're finally going to work on my emergency tiller, and they're going to do it with a solid piece of steel. It's going to be cold steel, not stainless, and they're going to do it for a couple of $100, which is my top end on it, man. They have a monopoly on what's going on in this town. So, folks, let me tell you, man, it's like, and all welding shops are expensive as hell now. So this is a critically important piece of equipment. And if it had failed when I'd been out in the Gulf of Mexico 3 weeks ago, I wouldn't be talking to you right now, probably. I would have lost the boat for sure, because I would have had to abandon it, most likely. I think we would have survived it, but we would have had to call and have the Coast Guard come out and helicopter us off the boat, because we couldn't have steered the damn thing. So, anyway, boy, the saga continues, man. Right here at Captain Tom's Sailing Adventures, baby. Man, we got to make it interesting for you, you know, or you get your money back, right? Remember to subscribe. We'll see you later. Bye.